Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Following our New Year's break, we are here with the final 3 days of Starladder Season 8. Day 27 is among us. Oh boy, am I excited here. I am Zyori. With me today is Hippie. We've got 5 good ones. And game number 1 is going to be RoX.KiS facing off against Mouz Sports. Hippie, my fine friend, how art thou?
Doing good, man. Happy to be back. Had a great set of holidays, and just good to be back casting. I'm excited for this one because, you know, RoX doing really well in the standings, but at the same time, Mouz seems like a team where when they're on, man. They can play really well at the top of their game, but they're kind of inconsistent right now, which is how I feel. They're kind of stuck in the bottom.
Yeah, they're kind of stuck in the mud right now. They've got 2 stand-ins today. Crit, Rise, and Exist going to be the official Mouz Sports members all tagged up, and their stand-ins today going to be Fire and Balsam. Balsam?
I'd assume Balsam.
Balsam, okay. So obviously Mouz Sports here, like you were mentioning, they're out of the running. They are 6-10 in their round-robin standings, so really no way they'll be able to make it into the top 4. RoX.KiS, though, they are alive and well. They are currently 11-4. 2 games to go until they hit that 17-match mark. And, well, this win certainly needed if they want to maintain their position here in the top 4. With 5 losses, going to be hard for them to maintain that position. It could still be possible, but they certainly need this win, I think. Safe to say. They'll be here to play, and RoX.KiS have been looking really well. They've been looking really good as of late. They've been performing. They've been drafting these pretty aggressive lineups, and we'll see what they want to grab here. Bristleback OD going to be picked up by RoX.KiS. They did have the second pick, so of course we see that Razor ban out straight away. And Mouz Sports, man, they're going to keep us entertained with a Slark and Nature's Prophet first pick.
Yeah, there's some pretty aggressive lineups coming out immediately from both sides. I mean, the OD, of course, not aggressive in a traditional sense of I'm going to run around and ganking, but aggressive in the sense of my high point is about the 20-25 minute mark, where he's going to be putting out most of his damage before a lot of BKBs come online. And of course, Slark Furion, man, that is some aggression right there. You can get a lot of a lot of nice early teleports from the Prophet, overload a lane whenever you need to, and Slark. I love watching the hero. I'm still not sure if he's as good as warranting a first pick. He's kind of iffy in my opinion, because some games I see him just stomp like crazy, and some games it's like, well, that was just a complete waste. So I don't know. We'll see if Mouz can execute with that right here. The Lion pick going to be very nice for locking down that OD, though. Really going to force an early BKB, I feel.
Yep, and there's that Treant, the Treant Protector, one of those signature heroes from Mr. Go Black, the support that he absolutely loves. One of few drafters that really does value the tree quite highly. And they've done pretty well. I like that first ban from Mouz Sports to take out the Venomancer. They've been pairing the Tree and Veno together. That is a deadly duo, my friend. The Leech Seed on top of Venomous Gale. You're slowed into oblivion, and it's no fun for anyone on the opposition. But I agree, that Lion going to be a solid pick here. They're going to grab a Gyrocopter, so a lot of damage coming out from Mouz. But I do agree with you about the first pick, Slark. I don't know. I think Slark has been... Actually, I kind of want to pull up the stats. Let's go to Dat Dota. Let's check the numbers. I don't think Slark has been performing that well, though. He seems to be really hit or miss as a true snowball hero. He either dominates or gets dominated. There's no...
Yeah, I would bet on that. There is no real middle ground. I mean, he needs to get a little bit of early farm, so you need to give him some sort of priority. He then needs to kind of catapult that forward and be a real... just kind of a real impact hero in the mid game. And if he isn't getting at least a few kills and not giving up a lot of deaths by maybe 15-20 minutes, I think you can say it's a wasted pick. He doesn't really hard carry like someone else does.
He's pretty much exactly 50-50 on Dat Dota. He is 28 and 27, so 51%, give or take a little bit of rounding errors there. So, yeah, I think that makes sense. As a snowball hero, he either dominates and you guys win the game because Slark is so fat, pH fat, or he becomes a liability and just kind of runs around looking for fish, but not the right place to be looking for a tasty meal.
And I really like this Luna pickup from RoX.KiS. I mean, you already have some reasonably strong early aggression that's going to come out from the Bristleback. You have the Treant Protector to let people dive. Giving that little bit of extra damage, having the good move speed to help chase with, along with that armor, means that you could get, a couple of early dives maybe going with the Lunar Blessing damage. You can get some early push going if you want to just be very, very secure because of the Lunar Blessing aura, no matter what you want to do. And I just love the hero, man. She's quite fantastic, and it gives you another target. Like that's three targets you really have to be worried about locking down with your one Lion at the
Hmm.
moment. I mean, between Luna, OD, and Bristle, who are you going to stop? They can all put out a huge amount of damage in any sort of mid-game fight.
Right.
On the other hand, it does mean that they have quite a lot of heroes that need a little bit of farm to spread around. So we'll see how they manage to pull that.
Yep, and oh ho ho, there it is, another hero that RoX.KiS love to run. That's going to be Yol playing Dazzle, almost his signature Dazzle. We've seen him play that quite a bit, and I'm excited for that. I like the synergy here. Dazzle and Bristleback, they're like a match made in heaven. You spam those quills, you throw down a weave, maybe put out a poison touch, a little bit of that shadow wave action. You got some warpath going on. That is a recipe for a good time. I like it. That's how I spent my New Year's time playing Dazzle. Now, I do worry a little bit for RoX.KiS, though. This draft, pardon me, I meant to say Mouz. I worry a little bit for Mouz with that Enigma final pick. Enigma is a hero that teams tend to grab when they feel they'll have a pretty solid laning phase and they're very confident in their heroes. And I'm curious about who they're going to put middle. And it looks like it could be a Slark mid. Or maybe even an Enigma mid. Is that what we're going to see here? He may just be lining up for a deny. But if this is going to be a Slark off lane, I really worry. I don't like the way that works. And I think it is going to be Slark mid.
Yeah, it's going to be Fury in offlane.
Yeah, so Fury and offlane, Enigma in the jungle. It can work out, but the struggle is if things don't go their way, there's not much they can do in that laning phase to rotate. Enigma's going to be stuck in the jungle. Furion's going to be stuck trying to pick up farm anywhere because his jungle will be occupied, and I worry that they're going to have a lot of in this laning phase, especially against a Treant Protector and a Dazzle, even a Bristleback. A lot of early aggression that can come out from RoX.KiS, so we'll see how it works for him. Slark going to have his work cut out for him, though. Slark versus OD. I have to imagine that is going to go swimmingly for the Outworld Devourer.
Swimmingly? Get it? Because he's a fish?
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
The unintentional jokes. You got them, Zyor.
Making jokes today.
Is this going to be an aggressive try coming out from RoX.KiS? I think they could definitely get away with it with the amount of defensive abilities they have going on. It'll be very, very hard to bring them down. They can zone out. Oh, Gyro!
Oh, Gyrocopter. He's going to get engaged on. There's the poison touch to start it off. The Leech Seed comes out. Gyrocopter going to throw a little bit of damage, but it's just going to tickle that tree. Another Leech Seed coming out. Luna trying to catch up. They need to get some of these right clicks off. This Gyro going to be in big trouble. He does not have a salve. Wow, what an Earth Spike from the Lion. That will keep Balsam alive. Close call, though. Without the salve, that could have been really scary. He's going to have to suck through some of these tangos. That's going to hurt that laning phase even more. And this is what we were talking about. It's going to be a 3v2 down here. And what can Mouz do against it? Very little. Ryze can poke out of the jungle here and there, but he needs to worry about farm. Exist going to be stuck in the mid up against the OD. And, of course, Bristleback up here. He's going to, of course, Furion up here going to have to tango with the Bristleback. So I think this Gyrocopter going to have his work cut out for him, which translates to good news here for BZZ on the Luna.
Yeah, this could actually just end up being an outdraft. I mean, I feel like RoX.KiS is really well positioned to win all the lanes. The Furion is going to give the Bristleback some trouble early. Oh, ooh.
Maybe I spoke too early. Yol really underestimating the damage from that rocket barrage. That's going to be an easy solo kill, and Gyro going to find some recovery here. Poor Dazzle. Oh, the misplays.
I don't even know how that happened. I was up watching the trades between the Bristleback and the Prophet. I did not expect anything to happen.
Dazzle saw them pulling, and he was like, hey, you know what? I want to intervene here. I want to get some of this experience. And he was solo against the Gyrocopter, and in these early levels, that level 1 Rocket Barrage, it does a lot of damage really, really quickly. And, of course, Dazzle only level 1. He did skill Poison Touch, so no heal, no grave. Nothing to do but stand there and die. He took it like a champ, though.
They didn't have the living armor yet, and even if you have the living armor, the Rocket Barrage should chew through it.
Most of it,
pretty heavily.
Yeah, still does a lot of damage, but might have been enough at least for the Dazzle to walk away for support to get there. And, yeah, unfortunate for RoX.KiS. But still off to an okay start here. Luna 6-2 against the 2-0 Gyro. We'll see how those last hits continue to work out. I'm more curious about this mid lane. It seems Exist holding his own pretty well, though. Scandal harassing him hard here instead of focusing on last hits. A 7-2 OD versus this 4-1 Slark, and Exist only has left is one pooled Tango. And he needs to be a little careful here. If he's not careful, Scandal might be able to finish him off. One more auto attack. 8 hit points, and he is going to walk away. But still a close call. Of course, while that's happening, I missed that kill down in the bottom lane. Dazzle picks that one up.
Nothing amazingly special. Lion just plain wasn't there. They went on Gyro with 3, and Gyro with 3, you know, the Rocket Barrage not quite as strong as it would otherwise be if it was just on one hero. Easy pick off. The Lunar Blessing damage, the help out from the Leech Seed and the Poison Touch made it a very, very clean kill.
Yep. So, but Slark more than struggling here. He's going to be forced to walk back and now going to buy a TP scroll, so not going to be his the opener that he was looking for. And this is where I start to worry for a Slark, because this is sort of a twofold victory for RoX.KiS. They're keeping down the snowball hero of Mouz, and their OD is just picking up free farm at this point. He's really in great shape, sitting 9 and 8 as Slark ports back. So gonna be a little bit rough. They don't really have a great tool to deal with this OD. No Razor, no Kunkka, no one like that. I mean, they do have some crowd control of the line. Maybe they can burst him down, but between OD and Luna, Mao's going to have their work cut out for him as they move into the mid-game, certainly the late game. Sodoi doing very well in the top, 15 and 3 on the Bristle against the 11 and 2 Nature's Prophet. Though Fire actually doing pretty well for an off-lane Prophet. He's getting a good bit of experience, just about to hit level 5, and that is much needed for Mouz. If Bristle was getting the better of him here, this would be just a total disaster for Mouz, but at least they've got their Fury on, farming away up top.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I was mentioning just before that first blood came out, I do think that for the first few levels, Furion is going to do fine against a Bristleback, but the more he tanks up, he's got that Ring of Health now, you see, to go with things. Maybe when he gets some boots, he can start putting a lot of pressure onto Fire, and Fire has actually got himself an Orb of Venom. That's very, very rare on a ranged. I guess just to try and get, 1 or 2 extra auto attacks in, make sure that Sodoi is taking a little bit of extra damage, but it's very, very odd. A 4% slow, generally not worth it, even for that tiny price of $275.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. On a melee, it makes a little more sense. Sometimes we see someone
nice
like
rune deny from crit.
Slark grab it, or someone like that. Even Lifestealer can grab it early on if it's a team that if they don't have a lot of lockdown or slow. But yeah, very strange on the Nature's Prophet. I guess just that little bit of extra harass on Bristleback. He feels it's warranted here to try and, I don't know, I was going to say cut through the Bristleback, but the damage it does is so minuscule. Like that extra 12 damage, I guess it helps with harassment, but I don't know. Some players do seem to favor that. And I remember when I was casting with Merlini earlier on in Starladder
Oh,
Season
Fire
8.
might be dead.
Yeah, we saw a couple of people do this same build, and we were both kind of in the same state of like, what's the point? Just save for the Midas, man. I mean, are you really going to kill somebody with that 12 damage? I guess sometimes you walk away with 1 health and you think to yourself, if only I had that Orb of Venom, that would have been a kill. Oh, jeez. But that doesn't happen too often.
No, not at all. And now I think Sodoi is now in a position where now that he has his boots, he has his Ring of Health, he has his Stout Shield, he should be very, very solid against this Furion. It's going to be very hard for the Furion to harass him with the trees because of the Stout Shield. The boots, of course, letting him keep up, and just having that Ring of Health so he can take some trades with the spines, put a little bit of damage into the Nature's Prophet, and then just back off and regen up. I think at this point, all 3 lanes are going to go in favor of RoX.KiS, which really means that Ryze is going to have to make something happen. Like his first couple of big ganks, when he gets that black hole, maybe if he can kill that tri-lane, it's huge. If he can try to help out the mid lane, slow down the OD, it's really, really big. Give the Slark a little bit of a boost, but he needs to have an impact. If they just jungled this Enigma at the expense of all 3 of their lanes and he doesn't get anything done, that's game.
Absolutely, and it looks like he is going to rotate over now, just hitting level 6 as we're talking about it. So this is good timing. Could line up for a big black hole right here, and with Gyrocopter, that's a lot of damage. They are going to engage on the Gyro. Black hole coming in. Malphite going to come on the Luna. It's going to be a 2-man black hole. Go Black going to be able to finish off the Gyro to start things off, so the follow-up damage not quite going to be there, but they will secure all 3 kills. So I guess, I don't know why I said the damage wasn't there. They had plenty of damage. Going to make for an easy set of kills. So Enigma going to make a showing. At least they get a kill on the Gyro, but still a 1 for 3 down here in the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunate that they had to lose the Gyro, but that was exactly what they needed to do. He hit 6, he landed a big black hole, he got the ganks going. Now, get that farm up, get yourself some items, maybe get an early mech. He's sitting on 1,800 gold. Do you think Ryze, maybe he wants to go for a straight blink right here? He's saving up a lot of money and not putting it into anything. Do you think maybe because he knows he needs to make the big plays, he goes for a straight blink?
Very possible, and I agree. If he wanted a mech, if he wanted something else, he would start investing in those items.
Yeah, he would have the pieces so he could jungle more easily.
Exactly right. So this is sort of an interesting play, sort of a pub Enigma build, if you will. Not something we see in competitive all that often, just because it's so risky. If RoX.KiS were a little bit more aggressive in the jungle and they were sort of keen on that inventory, it's such an easy gank and really a risky play. But high risks often translates to high return, and it may pay off for him. That positioning tool could come in handy. There are plenty of interrupts on the side of RoX.KiS. They've got Luna, OD, as well as Dazzle. And I guess if you're out of range and you overgrowth, that will interrupt it, right? maybe?
Yeah.
I think so.
Overgrowth will interrupt channels.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
They have 4 different interrupts on that team. The only
Yeah.
person who doesn't have one is Bristleback.
Yeah, so they've got plenty of tools to deal with it. Positioning tools going to be very important for the Enigma. And, oh, all right, we're going to be proven wrong here. He's going to grab a Midas first. Interesting. Really not the item that I would have thought of. Yeah, that's funky. Enigma with a Midas. Enigma's already the fastest, one of the fastest junglers in the game, if not the fastest.
I'd call him the fastest, but let's not quibble.
I don't know that a Midas is necessary here. I don't know. I think they're going to have to make something happen before that Midas really comes online. But yeah, Gyrocopter are going to be killed here. An easy dive, and Luna going to grab that last hit. Wrath of Nature going to come in, going to do a little bit of damage, but yeah, Gyrocopter really struggling here. Look at that net worth chart. He is pretty close to the bottom of the pack, sitting in position 6, I believe. Not where he wants to be. Scandal in the mid, maybe in a little bit of trouble. Double damage rune on the Slark as fire ports in, but they're not going to be able to make it happen. Scandal will survive to tell the tale, and he's just going to go back to farming.
Yeah, and Sidoi actually picked up like a 7-minute Vanguard on top of those boots, so you'd notice that Fire doesn't want to be in that lane anymore.
Yeah.
Like, unless he... Basically, if he gets gone on, even if he gets dove in a tower,
he's going to fall. Now Yol going to come in. He's going to get Finger of Death. Biz does use the Eclipse, but he will get sheeped, and now he's going to be in a little bit of trouble. Malphus going to come in. There's another Rocket Barrage, and this should be a kill onto the Luna, I think. No, he's going to turn around on the Gyro. That's going to be a Lucent Beam. 1 or 2 more auto attacks all to do it. The Eidolons come out, and it won't be enough. Well played by Biz right there. He turns it around, secures a kill for himself, and then does survive as he heads back to safety. Now up top, Exist. Definitely going to be in a little bit of trouble here. Slark is a slippery bandit. Will be able to pounce over the trees, but Sidoi still ready to pursue, perhaps. Fire not going to be able to do much to keep him alive. I don't know that Sidoi is going to be able to press this, and no, he won't. So RoX.KiS.
That was a failed 2-man gank up top, is what that was. They brought in the Slark right at the start. They had the Furion come in, then they realized, wait a minute, we can't actually kill this guy. Started turning around. Sidoi very, very nearly picked off that Slark with some spines, but he got some good positioning as well as a salve to keep himself alive. But just in general, God, it's such a dangerous target to try to engage on. And oh, Scandal might be in trouble next.
Oh, there's the high ground Furion teleport, and the defensive Astral comes out. I think he is going to be destined to fall. A 4 versus 1, nowhere for the Scandal to go. And down he goes. Actually, kind of a 5-man gank as everyone rotates into the mid. Yeah, it's great to get a kill on the OD who's been farming, but I don't know that it's worth all 5 members of your team pulling a rotation. Luna farming in the bottom, Bristleback farming up top. RoX.KiS, I think, have a good bit of momentum here. Even though Mouz are doing okay in terms of net worth, they have the farm on the heroes that don't need it. Enigma, #1 on the net worth chart, that's great, but Gyrocopter is the one that needs the farm, not the Enigma. Oh, Slark almost in trouble. There's a Midas on the OD, so he's going to grab a farming tool as well, but yeah, I don't know. I just worry that they're going to end up with this lopsided farm where on the graph, yeah, Mouz is looking okay, but this Gyrocopter, man, he just doesn't hit hard. He's got nothing to his name. He's got a Ring of Aquila, Boots of Speed, and a Magic Wand. That's it. Nothing else. Nothing too flashy here.
Yeah, it's really going to be up to this Furion to create a lot of space, I feel like. I mean, they do have, because the Gyro... Never discount the ability of a Gyro to do something in the mid-game regardless of how underfarmed he is. I mean, part of the reason he's so effective is just because of how ridiculously strong his abilities are, and in concert with an Enigma, you can win team fights with just those 2 heroes until the enemy team is really, really farmed. When you throw in the extra stun from the Lion, the extra damage, just a few auto attacks from a couple of sources, and that is a very, very early Roshan.
Yep, gonna make for an easy rush too between the Treant as well as the Bristleback, the minus armor, all the damage that they do. A smart play from RoX.KiS to move straight into the Roche Pit at the 11-minute mark. We see ward coverage for the Radiant side, non-existent about the Roche Pit, so a very easy Roche kill. Not contested. Mouz probably weren't even that wise to it, to be perfectly frank. They may have been suspicious, but that was a pretty fast Roshan considering how early it was. So going to further the edge here of RoX.KiS. And let's take a look at the inventories. Luna now has the Aegis, going to have an Ogre Club. We mentioned that Vanguard already out on Sidoi down in the bottom. Speaking of Sidoi, looks like he's going to man up on the Gyrocopter. Needs to be a little careful. Gyro is one of few heroes that can actually go toe-to-toe with the Bristleback. Courier comes in. Nature's Prophet. Oh no. Fire going to be tempted by the spoils of a Courier kill, and it's going to cost him his life as he ventures forward. Easy kill for Bristleback. Not going to pursue into the tower for the Gyrocopter, but Furion going to take a spill there.
That was very, very greedy. I mean, as soon as he had the nasal goo on him, he should have known he wasn't going to catch the courier. But then as soon as he had the nasal goo on him, he was pretty much just dead.
Yep.
You can't ever count on being able to chase anything when there's a bristleback just
Oh.
ready to stack goo on you. Oh, Sadoy though
Yeah.
might go down.
Sadoy, oh, the living armor might keep him up long enough to make something happen. He's not spamming those quills. He is just going to try and save that mana to port out. Oh, the black hole going to be burned. He would have made it. And they will use the black hole for a solo kill on the bristleback. Questionable choice. It was a good kill to grab for sure, but this black hole was kind of crucial to Mouz being able to take team fights, and now that it's on cooldown for 190 seconds, RoX.KiS going to feel pretty safe to pressure these other lanes, and this top tier 1 going to take some damage as Mouz move into the bottom tier 1. Living armor going to continue to be an irritant as it slows down the push onto this tower, but they will be able to take it out nonetheless. Mouz hanging in there.
I don't disagree that it's all mid lane.
Jeez, missing kills like crazy here. Treant now gonna fall. Exist gonna dive it. So actually 9-6. Mouz taking a lead here with the hero kills. The question is, can they keep up this momentum?
I mean, you would expect that they can. They have a lot of heroes that let them play very aggressively if they're not inherently aggressive on their own. Bristleback, of course, will be diving people all over the place no matter what. You have the Treant, who allows people to play much more aggressively than they usually would, thanks to the living armor. Dazzle as well, thanks to the shallow grave mostly. And then, I mean, as soon as this OD, he's nearly got his Force Staff. He's just saving up for the recipe right now. As soon as he's got that, and maybe one more item, but maybe he just gets the Force Staff and goes, he hasn't really been in a lot of these engagements. He's mostly been just sitting back and farming. So if he starts to bring his impact to the table, that's a lot of extra damage Mouz suddenly has to deal with, and they don't really have any sort of method to kind of handle it.
Yeah,
BKB
is going to be their method, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they're going to have to go for, but who's going to be getting it anytime soon? Gyrocopter isn't going to get it. Slark isn't going to get it. Enigma hasn't gone for a mech, so he has no way to kind of mitigate the damage. He's gone for a Necrobook. They're going for this kind of all-in minion push sort of thing, which I don't necessarily think is a bad idea, because they really, really need something that they're doing well to try and put pressure on, to try and take pressure off themselves.
Right.
But if they actually get engaged on, they could be in serious trouble.
Yeah, and I agree. It looks like they're going for 3 Necro Books here. First one is out on Enigma. Nature's Prophet going to be close to his. And Lion, well, it looks like he's working on a Force Staff, but he may grab a Necro Book as well as this game continues. So I think it's an interesting choice, and I would agree. I don't know that it's a bad one. Scandal is going to be able to pour it out in a close call, but he will make it. They need to do something, because I don't think they'll be able to tango in the late game based on the slow start that Gyrocopter's got, based on the fact that Nature's Prophet and Slark aren't really in like free farm carry mode at this point. I think the OD and the Luna will way out carry him. So I think the mindset is correct to try and put some early pressure on, knock down these towers. And as we can observe, they've been pretty aggressive. The total tower count is going to be 3-1, and the one tower that they've lost was actually denied up in the top lane. So they've done pretty well on that front. Sadoy in a little bit of trouble here. He will get sheeped. Lion does work very well against Bristleback. When Hex is on, it does disable that Bristleback ability, but it won't be enough. 500 gold bounty going to go the way of Bristleback as Lion falls. Now they've got the Slark setting their sights, but he's going to be hasted and will be able to make it out. A lot of creeps nearby. Going to cause some traffic here on the freeway, but they'll be able to make it out.
Good play by Fire and Balsam, though, just immediately pushing up this bottom lane. They see a 5-hero commit in the mid lane. And Mouz, I mean, as poor as their laning was, they're making exactly the strategic decisions they need to keep putting pressure on. They've got the Necrobook now onto the Furion. They're going to get a little bit done. They still see all these heroes in mid. They have vision of 5. So they can just very, very comfortably knock down this bottom tier 2, and RoX just not interested in defending. That's... I honestly feel like the Bristleback could practically take that solo. I mean, especially with the living armor dropped on him. I don't know why they decided not to just port one guy, and now their tier 3's getting pressured.
Yeah, not too much damage going to come its way. They do have the living armor, so they can afford to let this tier 3 take a bit of damage and then just heal it back up over the next minute or so. They will get the tier 1. They're going to poke forward. Balsam going to port out. Fire going to port out as well. Actually, Balsam not going to make it. He will get put into the Astral. I don't know why the Astral just eluded my vision there, but Scandal will interrupt the port just at the last second. And that will be a dead Gyrocopter once again. And with that push as well as kill, Luna now going to be doing the stacked Ancients here on the Dire side. And we'll just go ahead and right-click a BKB first. So Luna going to have that first big core item, still has the Aegis in tow. But first BKB is out on the field here, Hippie.
And it's not on the team that needs it desperately either. That's one of the things. I mean, it's definitely going to be really, really solid because you're dealing with a Lion. And anytime you're dealing with a Lion, if you don't have some way to deal with that amazing amount of single target lockdown he has, you're going to have a bad time. And speaking of Lion, however, Sadoy has him in his sights.
Lion not having a good time here. He's going to fall. Yol in some trouble. Will get the Grave off there just at the last second. Well played by the Dazzle. Exist. His ulti will expire. But not going to fall. Slark just a little bit too slippery for RoX.KiS to lock down. They don't have a huge amount of stuns. They have a lot of slows, but not a lot to lock down that Slark. So Exist has been having a pretty good game. He is 1-0-2, hasn't been the most active, but still has been involved in a number of kills. Is going to catch vision of the Luna here in the mid lane. We'll take a Lucent Beam and then just going to back up. So look at these graphs and see how things are faring. Going all over the place with that tower exchanging. But RoX.KiS will maintain a very small lead. In the gold graph, what's more important is they have a nice experience lead here as it is tied up 9-9. About 2,500 gold or experience ahead. And at the level chart, well, pretty comparable. Just kind of as a team, a hop and a skip ahead. Nobody really standing out. Bristleback, actually the highest level in the game right now, sitting 13. And he's got a lot of gold in the bank. He's working on that interest, about 3.8k. Curious what he's going to move into next.
I don't know, man. I mean, it's curious. Maybe he wants to go for a Radiance. I mean, theoretically, that's the only reason he would be saving up that much. Because he's got the open slot. It would be weird. I mean, then again, no one's going to have a BKB anytime soon, so he could probably get a lot done with it. It would be reasonably early. He's pretty tanky. It would be effective. I'm just not sure if it would be effective long enough for it to be a good pickup. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
It's like an unnecessary gamble. It could work out, but at the same time, it makes...
Well, there's the relic.
Oh, maybe a necessary gamble. All right. He is going to grab it. Interesting. Oh, is going to take some damage there as he finishes off those Necronomicon units. Do they have a Necro? That's a Necro Book 3 on Enigma. So that Midas is paying off. Furion now with the Necro Book 1. So there's some damage at least coming out from the Enigma. Slark going to grab that first Ogre Club. But yeah, very interesting. Now Yasha on the way for Luna, but the Relic going to come. Maybe anticipating an Enigma Blink? I don't know. Interesting choice from Sadoy.
Can definitely be helpful for that. I'm thinking one of the major things he wants is just because there's so much split push coming out, because there's so many summoned units around. Chad is really salty that I called them minions. That's just kind of how I refer to summoned units. I'm sorry.
Minions. It's okay.
I'm sorry.
League of Legends does not own the word minion. Okay, I will claim that.
I use it because of Diablo 2, minion necros. That's what I think about it.
Oh,
but anyway,
yeah.
regardless, I think that's what he wants is the creep clearing ability of the Radiance because there's all these trees coming out. Godlack in trouble with this Slark, for all his underfarmedness, is putting a lot of pressure on that I didn't think he'd be able to do.
Overgrowth.
TP canceled.
Astral, this is going to be bad for this Nature's Prophet. He's going to take a couple of right clicks. There's Dazzle with the minus armor, a Shadow Wave to finish him off. Now Exist going to take a bit of damage. Quick going to hop in. He's going to force staff forward. Will throw a Hex. Not going to connect with the Earth Spike. And we'll just throw out an Astral onto Yol. Everyone's going to be safe and sound. Well done. And that is one of the things about Slark. You're absolutely right. One of the things that makes him such a great snowball hero is he can do an absurd of damage without absurd amount of damage without a lot of items. And that's kind of what he's doing here. But
yeah, I mean, as I was saying that, he got countered on pretty hard. But just in general, I think for how bad of a lane he had, 1-0-2 is pretty solid.
Yeah.
He's not putting on as much pressure as you would like your Slark to put on, but he's also not feeding, which, in my experience, anytime Slark has a bad lane, I tend to see him, even in pro games, he goes like 1-5, 1-7.
Right.
It gets really bad really fast for that hero. So he's mitigating a lot of possible losses and still managing to put on some good pressure, which is impressive. And there's the Radiance.
With that said, though, I think Slark will start to fall off pretty quickly now that he's losing some momentum. Once those levels come out, his spells don't hit quite as hard, and he's just not as annoying. You're right, though. Radiance out, and oh, interesting. Another Midas. Go Black. Going to grab himself a Midas. Second item after the Arcane Boots on the tree. That's sort of an interesting choice. Midas Gaming at its finest. That's now going to be our third.
I thought we were done with Midas Gaming.
Yeah, me too.
So sad
I don't know what
right
happens.
now.
Yeah, I guess they're bringing it back. It is a semi-passive game. 19 kills in 21 minutes. Not the most action-packed. Certainly not the most passive either. But now Sadoy going to be able to deal with this creep clearing a little bit more effectively as he has the Radiance to burn down these creeps. But a little bit of a double-edged sword with those Necronomicon units. He may start taking more damage than he's ready for if he's not careful in these team fights as Radiance starts ticking down those units. So I don't know. It's an interesting choice. Not one that I would have predicted for sure.
As long as he turns back to the Necro units, it shouldn't be that bad.
Yeah.
He'll reduce the pure damage significantly.
Yeah.
It'll still suck.
And it's still hard because you know, Radiance, you don't control the damage. You know, if you're in a team fight, it's a little bit hard to see. All right, where's the Necronomicon unit? Is he about to burn down? When do I turn my back? You know, that's like a weird thought process when you're in a team fight looking to set up kills on heroes and not necessarily paying close attention to the Necronomicon unit. Sort of like Gyrocopter. One of the reasons that Necronomicon's great against him because you know he puts on that flat cannon, puts on that rocket barrage, and he's just killing everything. And if there's a bunch of Necro units there, it's bad news.
On the bright side, mentioning Gyrocopter, he's getting close to that BKB. He's sitting at about 1,000 gold. He's got the 2 pieces of it, so maybe 350. He's going to have the recipe, and he'll be ready to fight, pretty much. So especially if they can land a big black hole, Mouz definitely still has a good chance. And look at this split push. They know, I think they know the Roshan was happening. They had a ward right there. They knew they can't take the team fight, so they just take the opportunity to put some pressure on top.
Right idea indeed. Now Sadoy going to port up. An easy Roshan once again for our Dire team. Aegis will go to the Luna. 2 of 2 headed towards the Moon Rider here. 2 BKBs out now as well, and the Outworld Devourer as well as the Luna. And, well, Luna also working towards that Manta style. Does have the ultimate orb. That's about it. Whoa.
It's just...
Boots of Travel on Enigma, though. That's nice. Split push
really...
action.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what they need to do. They figured it out. They're going for the split push. You have the Necro 3, the Boots of Travel on the Enigma. You have the Furion has his Necro 2, almost Necro 3. He can buy it whenever he feels like. But, you know, just in general, it's amazing to me how you... Like, if you look at the net worth chart and you see the 3 cores of RoX.KiS and then you look at the cores of Mouz and just how much of a difference there is between those kind of... that kind of triumvirate of heroes on each side.
Yep.
The fact that Mouz is still managing to trade even and take more objectives is a real testament to just how well they're playing this match strategically.
It's true. They are handling themselves well for now. The problem is they're on this kind of a timer. They do have Gyrocopter, so they're not totally useless once you cross that roughly 30-minute threshold when the carries start to take over a bit more. But they're pretty quickly getting there. Breaking the outer 6 towers is the easy part. Breaking the base before that 30 minutes is what's really difficult. And that's what I worry that they'll sort of run up into that stalemate scenario where it's going to be more of a farm fest, and RoX.KiS will come out ahead, not only because they have the Midas advantage, but as we mentioned, they have Luna and OD, who will most certainly outcarry a Gyrocopter, Slark, and Furion here. Though, as you've gone back to several times, and I think you're spot on, Enigma with that Black Hole and a BKB, always a possibility for big plays, and a 4th Midas actually on the way. Lion, Mr. Crit, going to grab himself a Midas here at the 24-minute mark. I'm really surprised. 4 Midas in this game. I can't even remember the last time I saw 4 Midas in the same game. It's been a while, Hippie.
Hashtag Midas Gaming. I mean, it's a very passive game in terms of kills, which kind of does go towards a good situation for everyone to get a Midas. Everybody knows, oh, we're not going to be interrupted that often. There's mostly just a lot of split pushing. There's not a lot of team fighting, so I don't need to worry about, oh, is this an investment that's going to cost me something in serious team fights? But, oh, yeah, he might... Then again, he's just kind of radiancing everyone down, but he's probably going to die.
Living Armor
comes
comes out.
Never mind, Living Armor.
All right, he'll survive. I thought that was going to be a little bit more difficult
about
for him.
The tree.
But, yeah, the tree... See, look at those Necronomicon units, man. Oh, do they hurt. Sadoy going to be forced back, but quickly becoming a tanky presence here. Now has the Vitality booster. Probably going to be working towards a heart would be my best guess, though I guess Rod of Owie not out of the equation.
I would hope for a ooh, they got the courier. Fire got it right in the base.
Wow, look at you, Fire.
It's like literally practically in their fountain if you had to hit courier and double click the portrait.
Yeah.
It didn't have anything. Well, actually they're missing a set of wards for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Which, you know, and you're like, oh, it's a 150 gold item. But then you're like, oh, they don't have a set of wards that's supposed to be out for the next 3 minutes. That's actually a pretty big advantage.
Yeah. Not the biggest, but definitely sizable. A good courier
Mouz, they're already kind of lacking in map vision. Or, excuse me, RoX.KiS. I mean, Mouz is too. They're not able to get wards out. But RoX, the only one they have is this one over by Roshan.
Yep.
And that's not really a critical area of the map right now. They could really use something kind of maybe watching their jungles. They can get a little more farm in there, watching a little bit close to their ancients. But being able to catch attempted split push, being able to catch the Furion if you see him wandering around, trying to get something done. The Roche ward is doing nothing, and if RoX keeps getting split pushed like this, eventually it is possible that this game will just get delayed and delayed and delayed until RoX can't handle the push anymore. And quite frankly, if you go ultra late game and both teams get to the point where it doesn't matter who had more farm at the 20-minute mark, I'll take an Enigma with a Gyrocopter over RoX.KiS's lineup any day of the week.
All right, let's put some money on it because I feel the complete opposite.
Really? And it's like 60-minute game. You'd put this on
60-minute game. This OD and Luna are going to be tear-assing around Manhattan, dude. Forget about the black hole. That assumes that they're going to be able to get some epic black holes coming. I think that OD is just going to cut
You only
through.
need a two-man black hole to win that team fight when the gyro has that much damage.
Yeah.
I mean, this is of course, again, this is like super theory crafting for like 30 minutes down the line.
Yeah, this is like the nerdiest thing we can engage in
game is going to get that
now.
far.
Who's going to do more
I think if
damage
it does,
in 45 minutes?
Well, also, I mean, you have to worry about the split push factor coming in from the Nature's Prophet, who at that point will just melt things in a split second.
No doubt Mouz will be scary. I just think the Luna in particular, mixed with the OD, if they had one or the other, I completely agree with you. But the two of them together, it's like, who do you focus? If one of them doesn't get caught in the black hole, the damage output is just insane. Especially if Luna doesn't get caught in the black hole, she's just going to be moonglaving all over the place. And I don't know, man.
At that point, your gyrocopter just melts all the supports in 3 swings anyway.
Yeah, well,
which is significant. And, you know, the Dazzle can't pick a target to Shallow Grave because everyone's dying.
All right. Well, we'll see what
It's an
happens
interesting
here.
trade coming in here right there, though.
Yeah,
RoX.KiS
Tier 3.
taking some time, and the Tier 3 taking a whole lot of pressure. I mean, I know they have the living armor to heal it back up, but that's a crap load of damage they just gave up. And if they don't get several living armor cooldowns up on it very, very soon, then the Furion could theoretically snipe that unless they devote a lot of attention to it. So they basically have to be covering this top lane for a while to prevent the Furion snipe on that tier 3, which gives Mouz room to farm. I mean, you can look, the Furion is just hanging out in the jungle. He knows that they have to be defending that lane, so he shouldn't go there. But that means that the space is open for the gyro in bottom. The space is open in the jungle. They can get some extra gold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nice push, though. RoX did grab that tier 2 tower, so it's not a total loss. Holding pretty even on the gold graph. And, or pardon me, holding pretty even on the experience graph. Gold graph continuing to go the way of RoX.KiS here. And Exist going to take some damage in the mid lane. But yeah, this tier 3 tower, never underestimate the power of the living armor. It's already back up to about 2/3 HP and climbing. Oh, that tree.
That skill. That skill. I think Goblack is the only one who still sees how good that hero is. He's certainly not the overpowered piece of crap he used to be. Oh my god, that hero. But, you know, at this point, he's still strong, and I think he is underpicked, quite frankly. Living armor's amazing. Yeah,
not too many. The only teams that really seem to like it are RoX.KiS and Sigma. I know Mad likes the tree. They don't run him nearly as much as they had, but in the words of Mad, he said they're not afraid to pick the tree if it feels right for the roster. So, other than that, no one else really seems to value the Treant Protector. And I'm telling you, dude, the Treant Venomancer double supports in a tri-lane is so dirty. It's ridiculous.
Oh, fire.
That's not one of those.
Get out now.
Not one of those that you look at and think, wow, Venomancer tree, that's a lot of damage, but the slow is just unbelievable. Here we go. Fire going to head back up top now.
Snipe.
He wants to snipe it.
It's so high up, though. Oh, all right. I get what he was going for. He pushed the lane in, was hoping it was still really, really low, so that there was no backdoor protection because he pushed up bottom so thoroughly. But that living armor, man.
Yeah.
Did he forget about the tree, maybe?
It was a noble effort. You're exactly right. It was a good idea from Fire. Once creeps are in the base, backdoor protection for the entire base is gone, not just the lane. So it was a good thought, but yeah, that living armor. Yeah, they had a really small window to make that happen, and they just couldn't execute, unfortunately.
Well, there was some pretty thorough defense up there from RoX.KiS. I don't blame Mouz for not taking that kind of a risk. They're in a position where if they throw away one good fight, they could practically throw away the game if they have a lot of respawns mattering. Because if RoX.KiS has the room to just do a straight push and not have to worry about getting split pushed in, they can just knock down towers and probably a Rax too.
Yeah.
With enough time, especially with the Lunar Blessing and the fact that their carries are just more farmed. So like I said, I don't blame Mouz at all for playing this carefully.
Yeah. And Bristleback now going to grab himself a Hearted Tarask, so he's going to transition into more of a tanky build after going Radiance second after the Vanguard. And now Luna going to be moving towards a Butterfly with that first Eagle Song. The only Eagle Song needed for a Butterfly. It does have the Eagle Song nonetheless. And now a Blink on the Treant Protector, so that Midas going to start to pay off a little bit, and we'll get some initiation power. But Enigma's had that BKB. We see some Ultimate Orbs coming out, probably going to be turned into Sheep Sticks. So Crit will be the Crowd Control Master with a double Hex and a Stun, and it looks like that's what Nature's Prophet's going to be going for as he starts to pull up some gold. But we'll see. Turning into a very quiet mid-game here. Both teams seem pretty comfortable to sitting back and farming, though we see that experience graph starting to scoot in favor of Mouz a little bit. Still on the side of RoX.KiS, but moving away from their favor. They will smoke up in the mid lane here. Looks like they're ready for action, and they do want to make something happen. Who are they going to find, though, is the question. Gyro going to be in the mid. Up top, Sadoy going ham on Crit. Might need to be a little careful. He is going to get pounced upon. It will leash. Now he's going to be stuck in a 3v1. Support is on the way. Lion actually going to fall to the Bristles. And why did I say Bristles? The Quills. Now Exist, maybe going to be in some trouble. He'll pounce backwards. BKB going to be used by the gyro. He'll try to stand his ground. Won't be enough. Now Exist going to fall. Oh, no. What a disaster for Mouz. Ends up being a 3-for-0. Bristleback just too tanky.
He had a haste rune. Why'd he turn around? I don't get it, man. That was weird.
Know. That was really weird.
And I mean, the immediate split push coming in to try and prevent anyone from taking any towers. So I think Mouz will have to, or excuse me, RoX will have to back up to defend this push.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're just RoX getting closer and closer to that insurmountable advantage where you only need basically one hero to push everything in. Who's that went back? The OD. He can probably hold this just fine.
Yeah, actually, Rise taking a lot of damage. One more auto attack would have been enough. And the black hole going to come in. Scandal is going to fall. Rise will survive with just a couple of hit points to spare. But what's important is Scandal has delayed this push. They did take out the tier 2 in the mid, and well, there's going to be a port back from Biz. A glyph going to be popped as well, the Manta, so this tower will be just fine. Unfortunate for Scandal. Almost finished off that Enigma, but not quite there. One more auto attack, he would have had enough.
Yeah, it was, Mouz proving me wrong. I'm like, OD's got this, and then the BKB coming down on the Enigma, making sure he wouldn't go down nearly as quickly, and a nice catch by the Furion. Just getting exactly what he needed to prevent that OD from finishing everyone off.
Mm-hmm.
But still, they didn't get the tower. So they traded, 1 kill on the OD for the tower. They had already given up 3 kills. So RoX.KiS still coming out of that just fine in my book.
Right, yeah, no doubt about that. And now third Rosh going to be up right around the 32-minute mark because RoX did take that first Roshan very early in this match. And this will be the third uncontested Rosh. That's really been the big disparity in this match. It's been pretty quiet. There's been fairly even farming. Both sides have a lot of Midas. But RoX have now taken 3 for 3 Roshan, completely uncontested. And that's just money in the bank right there. That was third Rosh, so they're now going to have a cheese to play with that will go the way of the Bristleback. And once again, the Aegis is going to be on the Luna, who has since picked up that Butterfly. And also now a Sheepstick is out on Scandal, playing on the OD. Though, 3 Ultimate Orbs out for Mouz. I imagine some Sheepsticks are inbound.
Yeah, one would imagine. The Gyro has already picked up his Demon Edge. He's about 1,200 gold away from his MKB. So he's not going to be. It's not going to be that bad for him to have to deal with the Luna the Luna Butterfly. But his problem, I think, is more along the fact that he just has no hit points. He's going to get melted completely if he gets caught in any sort of disables. Of course, the Quills are very, very frustrating to him because they'll go right through that BKB damage. Sadoy will be chasing him down. He's really trying to kind of just go ham on that gyrocopter as often as possible, I feel. Make sure that he is not in any sort of position to keep getting out those auto attacks.
Speaking of positions, I'm a little bit perturbed by what Exist is doing here. He is just like in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, I don't know what the... I mean, they did sort of do a wraparound here where he was in the middle and they kind of came from behind, so he didn't have a lot of places to run, but...
My guess is he was going to rely on his ulti to get out, and then he got hexed.
Yeah.
So...
I don't know. That was just a misplay. Really poor positioning there from the Slark. Very unfortunate. And at this juncture, I mean, Mouz are getting closer and closer to that point of falling too far behind where they won't be able to recover, black hole or no. And with Slark down, now we're going to see an engage onto the Nature's Prophet. Overgrowth going to come out. That's going to be an easy kill onto Furion. That's it. 2 easy kills for RoX.KiS. Very quickly just getting out of control. I don't know. These unnecessary deaths are really costing Mouz at this point.
Decidedly. I mean, he does have buybacks, so he can get around to some split pushing if he really feels like he needs to relieve pressure that might come out from a push. But it's just, you're giving up advantages you don't need to. And when you already were kind of falling behind in the laning phase, when you know their cores are out farming you, the only person keeping Mouz in this game on a net worth versus net worth scale is that Enigma with his 18 grand.
Right. And Sadoy going to be in some trouble here. Is he tanky enough to survive this? They're trying to get in front of him.
Coming in.
And BZZ is going to have an ultimate here. BKB going to get popped by the gyrocopter. There's the cheese from Bristleback. They'll turn it around. He was baiting that out. Gyrocopter going to fall. Now Crit going to be in kind of an odd position. Dazzle is going to find him. That'll interrupt the port. Earth Spike comes. There's a Hex, but I think Dazzle should be able to finish him off. Bristleback actually going to grab the kill with that Radiance. But, yeah, they will make that a 3-for-0. Well done by Sadoy. The bait, and then he just popped that yummy, yummy cheese.
Top tower has fallen.
Furion going for top. He knows there's creeps in base. He knows the backdoor protection is down.
That living armor, though, making his life a little bit more difficult. Lion is going to buy back here. A lot of split pushing happening. RoX.KiS pretty well suited to handle it, though. They'll send someone back to the top lane, though. Go Black may pay for it with his life. Needs to be a little careful. All the while, down in the base, the Tier 3 has fallen for Mouz in their top lane. All the Tier 3s still intact for RoX.KiS. That will be a top lane of Rax going down in favor of RoX. They are going to go for the engage here. Sheep going to be used on Biz. He's going to get Shallow Grave, but going to be in trouble. Black Hole will be used. Sadoy going to be caught in the middle of it, but is going to be able to turn it around on Lion and the Enigma. Sadoy just going ham right here. Aegis going to be popped, and he's going to plow forward. That'll be the end of the Gyrocopter. Now things looking very grim for Mouz. It was a noble effort. Dazzle going to be able to get the Grave off once again against Exist. That's why I love me some Dazzle. Now Exist in big trouble. He will fall. Triple kill coming out for Sadoy. I think this Bristleback is just too big. He's got 6.6k in the bank. He is a beefcake right now.
He's pretty fat. I can't deny that. And right there, that was just those little two engagements. I mean, you had the one where the cheese was the main difference maker, and then you have this one where the Aegis was the main difference maker.
Right.
And that's, I mean, it's the power of the Roshan. And you were mentioning, you know, one of the big one-sided things in this match was the Roshan disparity. 3 kills for RoX.KiS, completely uncontested. I think you hit the nail on the head, man. That was absolutely huge, and I don't think they would have been able to break the base without that.
Yep. I agree with you on that front, my friend, and that will be the GG. Well played. RoX.KiS going to take a victory over Mouz. They were the favorites coming in here and was looking maybe a little bit rocky for him in that early game. Mouz did handle themselves pretty well, but RoX.KiS going to prove to just get the better of them. That Luna and OD, the Roche as you mentioned, and really Sadoy, the big playmaker here, a 12-1-2 Bristleback. Very scary. And another thing that we can take away here, how do you deal with that split push of Nature's Prophet and Enigma? Well, get yourself a Treant Protector. That living armor goes a long way in stopping that backdooring action. That is going to be our first game today, guys. We've got 4 more matches coming up. Alliance going to be next on the docket. It will be Alliance versus RX, aka Poseidon, and we are going to pretty much hop right into it. That game should be starting in just a couple minutes here as we are just about back on time. We will be switching over to Beyond the Summit 1. I see that there are 5 figures worth of people here, and thank you for joining us. Hopefully you'll switch over and join us on BTS 1 now that the stream is offline. We will be switching, so we'll go offline here and see you on the regular Beyond the Summit channel. That is, of course, twitch.tv/Beyond the Summit.